Hello, explorers of the unknown. Welcome to the Light and Shadows Global Channel, the place where curiosity guides us through the most intriguing stories and the darkest corners of existence. Today, we will travel to late 19th century France, an era of elegance, art, and progress. But behind the prestigious facades of high society, terrible secrets could be kept. The story we are about to tell is that of Blanche Monnier, a beautiful young woman full of life, whose light was cruelly extinguished by those who should have loved her most. What happened to her is one of the most disturbing and unbelievable cases in history. Prepare to learn the fate of the sequestered of Poitiers. Our story begins in Poitiers, a respectable French city. In 1849, Blanche Monnier was born into a conservative and highly respected aristocratic family. Her father, Charles, was the former head of the local university, and her mother, Louise, was a prominent figure in high society. Blanche was described by all as a charming young woman of stunning beauty and a gentle nature. With a promising future, she attracted many suitors. At the age of 27, in the prime of her youth, Blanche fell in love. The man who won her heart was an older lawyer who lived nearby. For her, it was the promise of a happy future. For her mother, however, it was a scandal. The suitor was neither wealthy nor from a noble family, which, in the eyes of Madame Monnier, was an unacceptable affront to the family's status. Louise forbade the relationship, but Blanche, for the first time, challenged her mother's authority. She refused to end the romance, convinced of her love. Her mother's reaction went far beyond simple disapproval. It was the beginning of a nightmare that would last a quarter century. From one day to the next, Blanche Monnier disappeared. To the Society of Poitiers, the family reported that she had moved abroad, perhaps to a convent in Scotland. Her friends and acquaintances, though surprised, eventually accepted the story. Life went on, and the memory of the beautiful young woman faded over time. The lawyer she loved so dearly passed away in 1885, never knowing what happened to her beloved. Meanwhile, inside the luxurious Monnier mansion, a macabre secret was being kept. Blanche hadn't gone anywhere. Her mother, with the complicity of her brother Marcel, had locked her in a small room in the attic. A room with no windows to the world, where the sunlight never entered. For 25 years, Blanche lived in complete darkness. The world she knew was reduced to 4 cold walls. Her only companions were the rats and insects that infested the place. She was fed scraps of food, thrown into her filthy prison. The floor was covered with a layer of filth and excrement. The vibrant, life-filled young woman was forced to live in conditions that defy imagination. Her mother and brother continued their lives, attending social events and maintaining the facade of a respectable family, while just a few meters away, Blanche withered away in her inhumane captivity. Time passed. 25 long and dark years. Then, on May 23, 1901, the Attorney General of Paris received an anonymous letter. The message was short, but its content was explosive. The letter read, "Monsieur the Attorney General, I have the honor to inform you of an exceptionally serious occurrence. I speak of a spinster who is locked up in Madame Monnier's house, half-starved and living on a putrid litter for the past 25 years. Though shocked and skeptical, the attorney decided to investigate. The Monnier family's reputation was impeccable, but the accusation was too serious to be ignored. The police were sent to the mansion. Upon their arrival, they were greeted by a calm and haughty Madame Monnier, who denied any wrongdoing. The officers, however, noticed a putrid smell coming from the upper floor. They followed the odor to a locked door. Upon breaking it down, the scene they found was one of pure horror. The room was in total darkness. The shutters were sealed. The air was unbreathable. When they finally opened a window, the light revealed the unthinkable. On a bed covered in filth lay a skeletal, naked woman with long, tangled hair. She weighed only 25 kilograms, about 55 pounds. Frightened by the light she hadn't seen in decades, she cowered. That fragile and terrified figure was Blanche Monnier, now 52 years old. The horrified officers wrapped her in a blanket and immediately took her to a hospital. The news spread like wildfire, causing a wave of shock and outrage throughout France. An angry crowd gathered in front of the Monnier mansion, which had to be protected by the police. Madame Monnier and her son Marcel were arrested. The mother, however, never faced trial. 15 days after the discovery of her cruelty, she died of a heart condition, supposedly aggravated by the stress of her arrest and the public fury. Marcel went to trial and was initially convicted. However, he appealed the decision and was acquitted. The law at the time did not have a specific punishment for what he did, as technically he hadn't used direct violence against his sister, and Blanche, being an adult, was not legally kidnapped. He argued that he was never her guardian. The lack of a duty to rescue law left him unpunished. And what about Blanche? She was rescued from her physical prison, but the invisible chains on her mind were never broken. The 25 years of isolation and abuse left deep and permanent psychological scars. She never regained her sanity. Blanche Monnier spent the rest of her life in a psychiatric hospital in Blois. There, she received the care that had been denied to her for so long. She passed away in 1913 at the age of 64, taking with her the shadows of a dark room that had become her world. The story of Blanche Monnier is a grim reminder of how cruelty can hide behind the most respectable appearances. A tragedy about a forbidden love, a morbid family pride, and a life stolen in the most inhumane way possible, a light that was forced to live in the shadows. What did you think of this story? It's unbelievable to think that something like this could happen. Leave your opinion in the comments. We want to know what you think. If you enjoy exploring the mysteries of history and the enigmas of human nature, don't forget to subscribe to the Light and Shadows Global channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. Here, there is always a new story waiting to be discovered, on the border between light and shadow. Thanks for watching, and until next time.